There, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the February edition of Off the Board. And I am working with a quote this month. Normally I don't work with a quote, and I thought this would be a lot of fun. It says, "In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks," and that's by John Muir. And I have these photos of my grandson playing in a creek, and we're just out in nature, water. There's some vines in the pictures. There's trees in the pictures. So I thought I would just use those photos. So I have these papers from Chamel, and they are from varying collections. Head in the Clouds, Field Trip, and that one that has the triangles and diamonds on it. I think that is from Glitter Girl. I can't swear to it, but I think so. And so I took all of these papers and I cut them into 2-inch strips. And the yellow paper has the frogs with the lily pads on the back, so I cut 4 of those. I'm doing a double page layout, by the way, as you can see there. So I am cutting a strip of each paper for each side of the layout. And the yellow paper I had to cut 4 strips because I'm using the front and the back. And I am cutting them so there are 2 by 11. So 1 inch off the bottom and then 2-inch strips. And part of the reason is because I couldn't decide which paper I liked better. I liked them all with these photos. They all match really well, and so I decided to use them all. And this is a really great way to use them all, by the way. And then I couldn't decide if I liked them better on the white or the black, so I'm auditioning them on both, and I decided that I like them on the black a little bit better. Each of my photos are matted in white, and then I did go and matte all of those strips of paper in white as well, just to add a little more pop off of the black paper. And it's just a very, very small sliver of white showing, not even 1/8 of an inch completely around. And then because my title is going to be so long, yes, I am using that whole quote. I don't have enough thickers to write that whole thing out in one font, and I'm not even sure that I have it in multiple fonts because most of my black thickers are missing a lot of the alphabet, or a lot of the A's and E's, and I needed like 11 E's for this quote. So I went to my little tiny dies, and they are in all caps. I have 2 sets. I have one that is upper lowercase and one that is just upper. And so I went with the uppercase because I didn't want to have to deal with ascenders and descenders when I put everything onto the layout. And I used some of that fun foam and put some black cardstock on the adhesive side of it. And then I ran it through the little sidekick there, and I cut out all of the letters that I would need. And so right now I'm just playing around with the placement of it. I thought I could use that whole yellow strip and go down the edge, but because the upper photos kind of go over it, it didn't leave enough horizontal space for any of the words that were more than 4 letters in length. And that would be like the second word, and so I decided I needed to start below those photos, but I could start the word "in" on the same level as those the photos, because it's such a small word. And then I started to spell out everything as I went down, and then I realized I only need to figure out the spacing to see if there's enough spacing lengthwise for one word on each line. And as you can see there, I got down to far more than he, and then I ran out of space. So I knew I had to move everything up. So I moved everything up enough so that I could fit the remaining portion of the quote onto my page. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with the part that has John Muir's name on it. I didn't know if I could make that into one line or if I was even going to put it on there, but I really did want to give the quote credit to him on my page, so I did get it all to fit. Long story short. So that kind of dictated how high up my smaller photos had to be. And then I decided to pop this large photo up onto some foam just to give it a little bit of extra impact. It already has extra impact because it's large, but that's okay. I wanted to give it even more impact because the quote is up on foam as well. And then I'm just going to work from there across to the left-hand page and keep it at that same level. And I'm going with a little bit of a wonky placement of the photos, so they're not completely straight lined up. And I think that's kind of a nice contrast to the strips of paper that are all perfectly aligned. If I had lined up all of the photos perfectly straight, I think it might have competed with the papers, and so overlapping them and kind of giving them a little tilt works really well. Now I don't want them tilted so far that you have to tilt your head to see what they are, so just a slight angle works really well. Now I apologize that I am off screen a little bit on the left hand side. You're not really missing much over there, just the placement of 2 die cuts at the bottom, but I am going to move those around so you are going to see them in their entirety before the video is over. So again, I apologize for that. I'm not working in my normal space, and my laptop is taking up a little bit more room than I had intended, so I needed to move my camera over and I didn't realize that. So I pulled out a bunch of ephemera from different collections that that Chamel has. I don't know where that came from. Sorry. That Chamel has, and a lot of these are from Never Grow Up, but there are a few that are from different things. The Let's Do This is from Field Trip, and I didn't end up using that one. I do think, I'm not really sure where that circular viewfinder is from. I'm not sure if it's from Never Grow Up or if it's from Field Trip. But anyway, at any rate, they are all from Chamel, so if you are into her products, they cross collections very well. Okay, so I decided to bring in that piece that said botany on it, and I like that because there's a lot of greenery in the photos. And then I just really liked the way that the viewfinder piece worked, and I tried to just use the portion of it that has the colors in the papers that I'm using. So the oranges are going to be trimmed off or covered up by another die cut, so you won't see the orange and red little squares on that viewfinder piece. You will only see like the yellows and greens and blues. So I really like how that looks, and the round gives a nice contrast also to the very rectangular look of all of the other aspects of this layout. So if you want to soften up like a grid or this type of a layout, add something that is round or something that has a very fluid shape to it. Organic pieces like the leaves and that kind of stuff really lend well to these types of layouts also. So those are just a few suggestions that I have. And you can see down at the bottom I moved the viewfinder to the right hand side of that piece that says botany, and I like how that looks a lot better. And I just am adding some pieces up at the top that says your potential is endless and going places, and I like how that looks. When I do double page layouts, I don't do 3 embellishment clusters on each page. I just do 3 across the 2 pages for the most part, and that works really well. It just draws your eye across both pages, and I like how it works, and it's not too much. If you try and do 3 on each page, sometimes it's just too much, because when you open up your album, your eye is seeing this double page as like one big spread. It's not like 2 smaller layouts. So that is the way I think about it anyway. And so the 3 works really well. Now that those leaves, I kind of played around with whether I was going to use them or not, and then I decided to go ahead and put them up there because, like I said, the organic shape just really kind of softens everything up. And then I'm finishing everything up with some enamel dots, and I am using the enamel out of the inside of the buttons, and that will complete the layout. So go check out everybody who is playing along with Off the Board. We do this the last Wednesday of the month, and we all take inspiration from our Pinterest boards and try and turn it into a layout. So Crystal Barrett had started this quite a while back, and we do it every month, and usually the month of July she does it every day. I'm not sure if she's doing it again this year, but she's done it, I believe, 2 years in a row already. So check out all the other ladies. I hope you've enjoyed this layout. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Here come the close-ups. I'll see you next time. Bye.